This is lesson 8.1, three-dimensional figures from chapter 8. I want you to write for the 1 through 5 the definitions from the book. So these 5 you'll write definitions from the book, from the textbook. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and see what faces, edges, and vertices mean. Now, you've done this before, and you've done it in elementary school. Okay, let's first go ahead and take a look at some animations from a couple of websites. Let's take a look at this first. This is a triangular pyramid. This is a triangular pyramid. This is the website. You can go and play around on it. These different multicolored ones are called the faces of this pyramid. Again, a pyramid is, think about the great pyramids of Egypt. It's something like this with the triangles all around. We'll talk about it in a minute. But this is a triangular pyramid. Going back to maybe a square pyramid. Again, let me go over it really slowly, and I'm going to shade it multi so that you can see it. So these different colored ones, the yellow, the orange, the green, and the red, those are called the faces. Where these edges meet, these points, these are called, those points right there, one on the top, one, those are called the vertices. And these lines where the faces meet, so where the blue and the red meet, so that line, and the green and the blue meet, there you go, those are called the edges. Okay, taking a look at one more, maybe we want to take a look at a prism. This is taking a look at the prisms. Again, these are the faces. If you look at the greens, all those are the faces. Look at the vertices, those dots, wherever the dots are, that means the edges meet. Those are the vertices or vertex. You're more familiar with that. And then these are the edges where those lines are. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Let's take a rectangular prism. And again, these are the faces, all those flat surfaces. Vertices, those edges where the surfaces meet. And the edges, these are the lines. These are the lines. And same thing with the pentagonal prism. Faces, vertices, and edges. Now you get the point. Okay. Let's move on to the lesson. In this, where we say finding the number of faces, edges, and vertices, I've given you 3 different so that it's easy for you to see. These are the faces. I have that face, 2, and the back, and then this one on the top here, that one on the side, and that one on the bottom. So there are 3 total of 5 faces. Now edges is these lines. So make those lines. How many ever see 1? I made 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines, and these dotted ones, 7, 8, and 9 lines. So 9 edges. And how do I figure out the vertices? These are the points where the edges meet. So 3, 4, 5, and right here in that corner is a 6th one. So there are 6 vertices. All right, I want you to figure out the faces, edges, and vertices of the second example given here. This is also a prism, and I want you to figure out the faces, edges, and vertices of that. Okay, now I've given you a website. Go to this. This is an interactive, that means it's an animated website, or the prisms and pyramids are animated, so it's a nice way to just look at stuff. Go on to that website. All right, let's moving on to a little bit of notes here. A prism. A prism is a polyhedron. Poly means many. Poly means many. So it's a many-sided figure. That's all a polyhedron means. It has 2 parallel, identical bases. Now we call them bases. This is important because that's how we name what type of a prism it is or what type of a pyramid it is. Now in a prism, all the lateral faces, that means except the bases, everything else is a parallelogram. Think rectangle. Okay. All right. Now for example, think about a tissue box or your cereal box, those type of things. Now a pyramid is a polyhedron. Again, that means it also has many faces. A pyramid though is a polyhedron with one base, and the lateral face are triangles. So think pyramids of the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Think about those. Now the key is that the shape of the base gives you the name of the prism or pyramid. So if it's a pentagonal shape, pentagon, so 5 sides, then it's a pentagonal pyramid or a pentagonal prism. If it's a 6-sided base, then it's a hexagonal pyramid or hexagonal prism. Remember, in a prism you will have 2 of these. Prism, you will have 2 bases, so you'll have 2 hexagon, whereas in a pyramid you'll have only 1. I want you to again take a look at the example of a pyramid. I'm trying to slow it down. This is a pyramid where you have something called the apex. That means everything is connected to that top point, the peak, and then your base here in this case is a square, so it's called a square pyramid. We can have different pyramids, so let's go ahead and take a look at another one. This is a triangular pyramid where you have the base as a triangle, and then if you look, everything is connected to the top. One more example of a pyramid is a pentagonal pyramid. So this is the base, which is a pentagon, and I'm going to shade it multi again. So again, the base is a pentagon, and then every side is a triangle. If you look, all the sides, this is called the top view. So every side is a triangle, and then everything goes and attaches itself to the top. All right. Now that you've seen what a prism is and a pyramid is, again remember, prism, the sides are lateral faces are parallelograms, and in a pyramid everything goes and attaches itself to the top. The faces are triangles. Now when we draw a rectangular prism, I've given you something called the square dot paper. It's like a grid. It's easier to do it if you don't know how to make any prism or pyramid. This could be used for both. So what you do is sort of make a rectangle. Remember, you can make it any place and orient it any way you want. And I'm going to make another one about right here. I took 3 dots, so I'm going to take 3 dots again, sort of stagger it. So there. And then the key is to connect the corresponding points. So if this is the top left hand corner, I'm going to look at the top left hand corner and connect them. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Bottom right hand corner right here, and then I'm going to connect it to the bottom right hand corner. And this is how you make prisms and pyramids. And then this is the top right hand corner. I can make a dotted line just so it gives that 3D effect. Same thing in the bottom here, bottom left hand corner and the bottom left hand corner of that one. So there you go, you got a rectangular prism. Now you can make it however you want, as long as it's a 3D rectangular prism. If you had to just do it right here, this is another way of doing it, where I feel it's easier for you, since you're learning, to do it with a square dot paper. go ahead and draw a hexagonal prism. I can set you up. A hexagon means six-sided, so you need to make a six-sided base first. Remember, prism has two bases. The prism has two bases, so you will make two hexagons. So however you want to make it, I'm just showing you one way. There are plenty of different ways to make it. So I'll make one base, and then I'm going to make the other base right here. One thing for you to remember is that the two bases are the same size. That's all. And then now go ahead and connect it. So that's your practice problem to make a hexagonal prism. The next is talking about drawing a triangular pyramid. In this, you can do the same without it. You can just make a triangle and then make a point somewhere on the top. This is your apex. That means a peak. That's all it means, peak. And then what we do is connect the lines from all to that spot. That's all. And then if there's a hidden line, then you can make it a dotted line or however you want, so that it gives you that 3D effect. Or you can just make it a complete line. Now the same thing on a square dotted paper. So do that, and that's your apex. Now if you notice, I made the base on the top and then the triangle going down, so it doesn't matter as long as you connect them. I know it looks a little bit weird, but again, if you draw the dotted line, it'll show that, if you can see it, it shows that 3D thing going in it. Okay. Now you can draw a square pyramid. Remember, you have to draw the square. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it doesn't look like it looks more like a rectangle because of the way the squares are pulled, or the dots are pulled, but your paper is pretty good, so it'll make more sense there. And then make a apex somewhere and then connect it. Now you can even make the apex to one corner like that. That's also okay. All right, go ahead and finish that. All right, the last part of this lesson is to draw the views of the solids. What do you see when you look at a solid? Now, there are different views. One is called a front view, side view, and top view. These are the three views that you have to draw. Now let's do the front view. If I look at this picture, what do I see in the front? This is the shape I see in the front. So this is my front view. What's the side view of this? When I see this picture and I'm looking at the side, so this is the side that I see. So that is my side view. And when I look at from the top, what do I see? If I look at, so this is the top, and that's what I see. So I'm going to say that's the top view that I see. Same thing with the cubes. What's the front view? When I look at the front, I see this, 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 and this. So I see 4 squares like that. So that's the front view. What is the side view? When I look at it from the side, then I see this square, and that square. So my side view looks something like this. 1, 2, and then one more like that. And then my top view, I look at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I look at that, the top view becomes, for this, becomes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead, finish the other two, and I'll see you next class.